The sound of the slap cracked through the courtroom. My father's hand still hovered in the air, red against the pale light. My mother sat rigid, her eyes wide, trembling as though her bones had been hollowed out. The divorce papers lay in front of her, pen rolling toward the edge of the table. "You've been useless your whole life," he spat. His voice carried across the chamber, ugly, confident, unashamed. The judge raised an eyebrow but said nothing. The bailiff looked down, as though silence could erase the moment. My mother lowered her head. Her hand quivered as she signed the final page. Her marriage, the wreckage of 2 decades, died with a single stroke of ink. I stood. My chair scraped the floor, sharp, deliberate. My police cap came off. My badge glinted under the light. All eyes turned. I didn't shout. I didn't tremble. "Your Honor," I said. My voice cut through the hush. "Check the tacked Dane." The room shifted. My father turned, confusion creasing his face. He hadn't heard those words in years. He thought no one had. But I had. The tacked Dane, his hidden account, his lifeline of deception. A code name spoken only once, in whispers over the phone, when he thought I was asleep. I was 16 then, pretending to drift off on the couch while his voice slithered into the dark. I remembered everything, and I had carried it with me, quietly, patiently, for years. My mother believed she was the failure, that her emptiness was her fault, that her silence kept peace. But it wasn't peace, it was control, his control. Every cruel word, every slammed door, every dollar rationed out like a leash. And now, in this sterile courtroom, he wanted to finish it with spectacle, with a slap, with humiliation. I looked at him, calm, detached. He didn't know yet, but I had been waiting. It began months before this trial. When my mother finally whispered that she wanted to leave him, I didn't hesitate. I put on the mask of duty. I told her I'd help quietly. I told her patience mattered more than anger. While she cried in the kitchen, I worked in the shadows. I dug through bank statements, tax filings, property deeds. Nothing at first. He was careful, I'll give him that. Too careful. But careful men slip when they think no one is watching. Phone records showed midnight calls, an offshore contact. Then the name, Tacked Dane. It reappeared in coded transactions, disguised as consulting fees, as wire transfers. Millions hidden. Money siphoned while my mother begged for grocery money, while I wore shoes with holes in the soles. I stayed silent, played the dutiful son. Even at family dinners, I sat across from him, listening to his hollow lectures about responsibility. I smiled, nodded, memorized every word. And each night I pieced the puzzle together, document by document, until the picture sharpened into truth. My father wasn't just cruel, he was corrupt. When I said it in court, "Check the tacked Dane," the words were a blade. The judge frowned. "What is that?" I reached into my folder, slid forward the files I'd prepared. Copies, originals locked away, safe. Wire transfers, bank names, shell corporations. The proof. I didn't look at my father. I wanted him to feel the silence, the pause before impact. The judge's clerk skimmed the documents, whispering. The judge's face darkened. My father's confidence cracked. His lips parted, dry. This is fabricated." "Sit down," the judge snapped. And for the first time in my life, I saw my father obey. My mother stared at me, eyes wet. She didn't understand everything yet, but she felt the shift, the balance tipping. The truth was no longer buried. The judge ordered an immediate freeze of assets, a formal investigation. My father turned on me then, his voice venom. "You think you're a man because you wear that badge? You think," I cut him off with a whisper, "your reign is over." He lunged, fury uncoiled, but the bailiff caught him. His face contorted, veins rising, as if he could strangle me with his glare alone. I didn't flinch. I leaned closer, my voice low enough for only him. Every slap, every insult, every night she cried herself to sleep, you paid for them. With the money you thought was hidden, with the life you thought untouchable. Now it's ash. His eyes burned. Mine didn't. He had always wanted power, and now he had none. When the hearing adjourned, my mother clutched my arm, her body trembling. I don't understand. How did you—" I placed the cap back on my head. My voice stayed flat. Because I listened. We walked out together. She looked lighter somehow, though she hadn't yet realized how deep his ruin would go. I didn't look back. Not at him. Not at the courtroom. That part of my life was finished. In the cold hallway, I let out a breath I'd been holding for years. It wasn't relief. It wasn't triumph. It was clarity. My father had built his empire on silence, on fear, on hidden accounts and broken promises, and I had destroyed it with 6 words.